go, the 24 cars. 2,400 metres of racetrack, 24 cars, they've all got 100 metres to play in. That's if they play fair. But we also know at this location you can get a benefit of a tow on the run down to turn 4 at the hairpin and on the back straight, and it's important to make the point out there right now, it is really windy. And there is going to be an enormous flurry of change with only 2 minutes remaining in this session. There is Courtney, position 2, but the entire timing monitor in front of us is covered in colour at the moment as everybody puts together their very best possible qualifying laps. We're jumping on now with our championship leader, Will Brown, grabs a gear at peak low, trying for that car to not slip sideways into the grass. Up and over the hump into turn 1, where they have to negotiate that brake pedal with great touch and flair to not lock a brake in the wet conditions down there.
Mostert's on a good lap here. He's fastest in the first sector. He's currently 3rd, and he goes to the top with a 51.7, quickly usurped by Cam Hill, who comes up 23 spots with a 51.6. Richie Stanaway comes up 10 spots to 3rd. Mark Winterbottom up 16 spots. David Reynolds and Brodie Kostecki both up massively. Bryce Forward, fastest car right now with a 51.60.
Best we saw yesterday was a 51.1 in very different conditions, and that was Reynolds in that trading entry. Here's Cam Waters. He was quick in the wet this morning. Position number 2, we jump on board the J-Car driver's eye through the final corner at turn 7. Brock Feeney to the top now on a 1.4. Waters jumps in there with him at a 1.5. Randall comes up into position number 3. But remember, it's those beyond position 20 that really matter here. Jones, Wood, Payne and LeBrock. Now, Payne and LeBrock have been quick earlier in the weekend, remembering that Matty Payne did a pretty solid job at Sydney Motorsport Park as Mostert comes back up now into 3rd.
Percat, 51.3 to the top.
30 seconds.
And this is going to be a good lap for Brodie Kostecki. He comes up 11 positions. Tim Slade now, fastest car, 51.1, same time as yesterday. So with the water on the road, they've actually gone seriously fast at the end of this session.
Great speed in tricky conditions, but Davis and Jones, LeBrock and Payne, they're 21 through 24 at the moment. You can see them on your totem. 3, 2, 1, checkered flag.
Pit exit is now closed.
Laps to be completed, so that order that you can see is not done yet. This is going to be vital here for Matt Payne. He's done a personal best in the mid-sector. He has to dig out of this situation. He's a contender in this championship. He's been fast so far this year. Negotiates the final corner, gets it to the line, and does it vault him?
No.
Not enough. Only up to position number 21. That's Payne out. Reynolds up into position number 7. Macaulay Jones down in 23rd at the moment in the Pizza Hut entry. Does he move up? He moves up to position number 21. Not enough. Slade at the top on a 51.15. Jones, LeBrock, who's been very quick here, including last year. Payne Davison. Will Davison had a pole last time out in Sydney, so we'll follow that story. So what Mark Larkin was referring to is a really interesting subject. So when people know their cars and they're set up well enough to be able to go out and experiment with a change, they've got a reasonably high degree of confidence about what that represents. We're on board now with Brock Feeney. One of the rare occasions this weekend where his mum and dad are not here. They'll be watching carefully at home to see how the young bloke's going. So he's sitting 3rd in the championship coming into Tasmania this weekend. He lost that 2nd spot that he's been hanging on to at the last event, so keen to make amends. David Reynolds at the top at the moment. We're inside 2 minutes. They're all about to pull the trigger. You're going to see 20 cars all maxed out for 2 laps at the back end of this. So they'll do a flying lap, and then we'll get the checkered flag, and then they'll be probably on the completion lap after the flag is flown, when everything unfolds and we get the sword order. And the focus is everything south of that red line on the graphic on screen. Keep an eye on that.
And at the moment, that's Nick Percat. He's 11th. So what does Percat do? He's actually got personal bests, and Percat goes to the top. Mostert quickly goes by him. 51.1 for Mostert. Cam Hill up, James Golding up, Tim Slade, fastest car, first car into the 50s.
That's a great time, 50.9 for Tim. That is a ripping time, the best we've seen, and another great number achieved by Brock Feeney. He's done a 50.94. Cam Waters has come up, and a wild moment for Thomas Randall. Makes contact in the gravel And that was a spooky moment on the run down towards turn 2. It'll be light, if any, damage.
Red flag,
And they're now red flagging the session. So what this is going to trigger is a pile of tales of woe. I was on my lap, and now the red flags come out, and Thomas is probably going to get this out.
And Will Brown is 16th. So at the moment, the series leader has been caught by exactly what you just explained. He was on his personal best.
In the grass, so Thomas bowls a big wide, and it's so wet and muddy out there, and he was probably lucky for only that right front light contact with the wall. Scary moment for him. Could have been a whole lot worse, particularly if there are other cars around, so he managed to get away with it. So yes, we've got 38 seconds remaining.
Over and out.
Over and out. So people, and this is the crazy part about the business, the seesaw nature of it, trying to be consistent, which is how they stitch together a championship, is the hardest of tasks.
Yep.
Track to track, different surfaces, different conditions, lots of different things come into play, and the swing from hero to zero can be so violent and so sudden.
And we'll get an indicative number from Golding, who does 80% lap, was only a 56.6, so he's just done that just to warm everything up. Remember, that's his first go.
Approaching 245 kilometres an hour on the run now to the hairpin, the slowest corner on the national tour. First gear, 55 kilometres an hour right here for Nick Percat. We're just on 90 seconds remaining. He uses the concrete apron on the exit to try and find a little bit more space and a little bit more traction. Fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear as he approaches the right-hander at turn 5. That's 260 kilometres an hour. How far does he get in there? It's about the 170-metre mark before he feeds at third gear for the double left-hander.
Percat's good lap. This is a very high-quality lap from Nick Percat.
He's done a 51.14, Nick Percat. There's a lot to play for. Percat is the top dog at the moment. And we've got Feeney on a 51.18. We've got Mostert on a 51.2. We're now inside 60 seconds in this session. The wind is eased ever so slightly out there at the moment. And right at the moment, Nick Percat is potentially on for a Boost Mobile pole. There's still plenty to play for because Waters is going very quick in the mid-sector at the moment in the Monster Energy Mustang. What's he got for us when he gets to the line? Woody's come up into position number 4. Kostecki's come from nowhere. And Brock Feeney punches a 50.9. Beautiful job by Brock Feeney. Squeezes a number when it matters most.
Still got another lap here, and Percat's number is actually the fastest cumulative at the end of segment 2, but he doesn't get the last sector together, so he misses out. Mostert comes up one spot. Ryan Wood, Cam Waters now has done the fastest first sector. We're riding with him, and he's got a toe. This could be the best lap of the session.
We are riding with Cam Waters, who's threatening to topple Brock Feeney if he can get deep enough into turn 6 and make it stick through this final double left-hander. He's gone session best in sector 1. He's right on the money in sector 2. Is it going to be Feeney? Is it going to be Waters? Who is going to get the pole? And it is Brock Feeney that hangs on by the tiniest of margins. Feeney over Waters by 8/100ths of a second. Highly intense. Congratulations, Brock. Beautiful work. 4th pole of 2024. It's Feeney, Waters, Kostecki. Let's check the results for you. Nice work, Brody. That's an energised lap from him. Nick Percat well in the game this weekend. Chaz Mostert, Cam Hill. That's a nice performance by Cam, who was strong here in quali last year as well. Ryan Wood, Anton De Pasquale, Tim Slade and James Golding, knowing that they also didn't quite have the rubber on their side when it mattered. But interesting lineup at the top end of town, and a fantastic performance if it sticks for Brock Feeney, because that is career pole number 7 for him in his young supercar career, and a great way to energise the start of the weekend for him.